allow for students to go to community colleges for free, and they become trained and they become the workforce. And we also spent bipartisanly money with Kaplan and other for test prep to make sure that nurses and lawyers and teachers and other professions have the ability to get free test prep so that they can become licensed in the state of Illinois. That helps the workforce as well. So.
Well, I'm enjoying the conversation that we're having right now. We're hitting the 1:30 mark, so we need to start to wrap it up. One last question, which goes back to the beginning when we talked about tariffs. And Representative, you weren't here at the time, but please feel free to jump in on this. And Richard, you know, with your comments on what was going on here, it says President Reagan's opinion was, or Reagan's opinion of tariffs was they rarely work, and that they shouldn't be used because they are a tax on the citizens. Now, in some of your comments, that kind of came out, but how do you feel about where things are going right now with these tariffs? How should we be feeling as small business owners and looking to the future here? I would say, to be honest with you, you know, whether you voted for the president or not, I'm a little nervous as to the direction things are going. Is there something that you see or that might calm us as to what's happening at the moment?
So what Trump is doing is really reordering the global order post-World War II, which was kind of geared around the Marshall Plan, where the United States was strong, our friends were recovering, and so we basically we subsidized that process directly and indirectly through allowing them to have tariffs while we didn't have tariffs. And so that system is coming to an end. And so that's what Trump is saying. Look, no more we're subsidizing you, whether it's in the military or it's through trade, directly or indirectly. Now everybody has to carry their own weight. So if you want to have tariffs on us, we're going to have tariffs on you. So if you don't want to have a tariff on you, then reduce your tariff on us. So it's leveling the playing field. The United States is still the essential economy for people to play in. So it gives him leverage that, for example, France doesn't have. If France doesn't sell champagne into the United States market, they're screwed. And so he's using that leverage to try to level the playing field for American business across the spectrum. So the challenge that, I mean, look, as a matter of economic orthodoxy, I'm a University of Chicago guy, right? I mean, you'd rather have the production move to places where it's the lowest cost. The problem with that from a strategic point of view and from an American point of view is that Americans don't win that way. We have to think about our fellow citizens as being people we love, people we care about. The purpose of government is actually to serve the citizens of that jurisdiction, right? So the problem with unfettered free trade is that when everybody moves their factories to Mexico or to China, then what about the American worker? What about the middle class kid, the kid in the middle of the class in high school? What kind of a job opportunities are they going to have? And so one of the great things that we had in this country since over the last 100 years was the opportunity for people who are not part of the elite to succeed and live the American dream, right? And so that was the flaw in the Reagan-esque view of trade. It was premised on us subsidizing other countries, which leads to a problem. And then at the end of the day, we lose opportunities for middle-class Americans by shipping all these opportunities overseas. And so what Trump is bringing is sort of a renewed focus on rebuilding the infrastructure of the country, for strategic purposes, but also to create job opportunities. Sorry for running on.
No, it's wonderful. Representative?
Well, I think we all pray that the vision of the president is going to be realized and great for America. But he spoke and he said he could care less if people hurt with some of his actions because it's going to be better in the long run. Well, you can't have a system where you know people are going to hurt and you continue to do it because people are going to die from that type of behavior. So I just think that there's a way to do things, and that's why we have a government and a democracy. You work it out. And for President Trump to be a business person, these are not negotiations. And that's the problem. You negotiate as a business and you work things out. He's got a strong hand. America is strong. And we are big in the global world. And to just do it this way and know that it's going to hurt people and people are going to die because you want to make America great again, I think is dangerous.
I can't agree with both of the comments that were made right there, but I would say from the U.S. Chamber's perspective, certainly tariffs, again, as I mentioned, do hurt consumers. They do hurt employers, specifically for different industries. He has ascribed those in aluminum, metals, automobiles, et cetera, et cetera. But also at the same point in time, tariffs, as Richard pointed out, it will help cut our deficit down. And so what we at the U.S. Chamber are hoping for a net neutrality, a net even on a net zero on tariffs. And we think that would be able to not only increase free enterprise, but also help our entrepreneurship system here in the United States.
Okay, our final question for today. Data center electricity is expected to double in 2030. 60% of that power will or could be met by natural gas. The big push, why the big push for electrification, sorry. Why the big push for electrification?
So the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is a big advocate for natural gas. In fact, we have a natural gas national campaign where we've actually advocated very difficultly here in the United States. We are strongly against pushing for electric vehicles. Obviously, those should have their opportunity to use so, but using natural gas is one of our nation's biggest resources, and it affects a lot of our states, specifically in Illinois and in Pennsylvania, and we hope that we continue to make sure that we move forward with that measure.
The next great stage of industrialization is going to be the utilization and the promulgation of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a voracious consumer of electricity. We need to produce more power plants to produce more electricity, and we need to upgrade a distribution grid which is woefully inadequate. That's the reality. The focus of energy policy for the last 15 years has been on reducing the carbon footprint. This is a waste of time and a waste of money. China is opening a new coal-powered power plant, one a week. Okay, the amount of CO2 they're producing swamps any amount of savings we have. So either we're going to be able to compete in the new industrial age with higher amounts of electricity, and to do that, you're going to need carbon-based sources like natural gas. Natural gas is the cleanest source, and it's a low-carbon producer. The idea that we're not promoting these kind of carbon-based alternatives is nuts. We need carbon-based alternatives, and natural gas. And by the way, Illinois, the whole kind of Egypt part of Illinois, the lower triangle, is one big shale deposit. We could be a major energy producer, but we don't do that because of regulatory restrictions. So if we're going to participate in the future, we need more energy. The only way we're going to get more energy in order to compete is with carbon-based sources, and the cleanest one is natural gas. It's pretty straightforward.
Well, I would say that this is an example of not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I agree that we should make sure that we protect pretty much all energy sources. I would fear today that we don't have enough reserves to heat or cool our communities in case of a blackout. We've seen rolling blackouts in California. That's got to be scary. So I think that we have to be able to do both, and that's what I hope the president understands, that we have to negotiate, we have to come down the middle, and we have to make sure that we're able to compromise in order for a stronger country.
Well, at the moment, I think that's going to be about it for us today, just because of the time that we have, but the conversation's been great.
Thank you.
Ryan Gleason, Richard Porter, and Shawn Ford, thank you for being here today and sharing your opinions. It's truly appreciated. As always, for everybody in the room, it all starts local. You want to be a part of the solution, you have to get out and vote. So getting out and voting is the most important thing. We've got local elections happening right now. Get out and vote. Also, share your opinion. And sharing your opinion here today and sharing your opinion in the future is how we will change things and make this a better community for all of us. On behalf of the West Suburban Chamber of Commerce, thank you everybody else for being here. If you're a board member, please come up for pictures after.
And sponsors, please.
And sponsors. There's some desserts left. Please help yourself. And we will see you at our next legislative meeting, which should be around public transportation.
Okay.